Hello out there, Legion M official. This is Neisha M, your geek mom, coming to you from Diversely Geek.
My name is Lewis, and I'm coming from Man Bites Media.
And we are going to give you our feedback on, well, I think maybe our faces might tell you how we feel about the film.
Even your face is telling you. My face is insane.
Yeah, Mr. So I'm the expressive one, right? He's the listen, I went into the movie expecting to not like it, but I'm really not a horror genre fan, whereas
I am a massive horror fan.
So we're at the two sides of the spectrum. Yeah. I don't know, maybe I'm more seasoned now and I have a different viewing perspective. But I did go into it with my background, which most of you know is huge science nerd. Lots of psych and psychological and
I approached it with the filmmaking aspect of it.
Yeah, and I approached it from of course the psych side of it, everything. So I really liked the film. I liked it a lot more than I thought that I was going to, but it had me thinking quite a bit. Yeah. I was doing a lot of
So, I found myself doing that too, and honestly, this is probably one of the best films I've seen in the last probably at least a year, and I'm saying that because it hasn't sunk in yet.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies that I want to watch this, let it fester for at least a week or two, and then go back and watch it again, because it's that type of intensity that you see in a Lars von Trier film, that you see in a Darren Aronofsky film, that you have to peel back the multiple layers of the film, and this film has that. You see the psychological aspect in it right from the beginning. It messes with your mind right from the color scheme, right in the first shot of the film. The sound design is just amazing because it develops little by little by little, and you get enveloped into this world that is Mandy.
I have a very by the end of the film, I am left questioning whether or not what I saw was someone's dream.
Yeah.
Whether or not
fever dream, right?
Mandy had herself. We were in an experience that she was having as a fever dream, and I've never experienced it. I've certainly seen it from the medical point of view. I do know what it is for someone to be having a psychotic or a manic episode, and there was a lot of reminiscences of, wow, is this what that person is experiencing? Are they in an altered state of being?
Now, my approach to it was the opposite. It was, Nicolas Cage's character, and he's having the fever dream post-stress from Mandy dying. That scar on her face. Never answered. Where did she get that scar? How did it happen? And maybe his dream and his hallucinations of him just trying to alter his mind because he doesn't want to face the reality of not having Mandy.
Did you notice that, and no spoilers of course, but did you notice that scar was a running theme? So I'm just not going to say any more about it, but that it just manifests just so lively is so interesting, because actually throughout the film, I had said in one of our earlier feedback Q&As that I felt that there were three running plot lines, unspoken plot lines, and one, you and I agree, of course, is the sound design. The second is color, and the ambiance of the color, and the circumstance of the color use.
The reds, the blues,
yes.
During moments of calm, moments where you're supposed to feel the serenity that he's feeling. And this is why I think that it's Nicolas Cage's dream rather than Mandy's, because it's his emotion towards her, and it's her the one that's enveloped in blue.
So are we lucid dreaming or not?
Correct.
And where that comes in, the third plot point for me, as I said, was the silence.
Yes.
Because the silence speaks volumes about the lucidity versus the whether or not we're in a manic episode or manic state, or whether or not we are now in a interdimensional, rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying about
Yeah.
that.
No,
so.
there's scenes right before the breakdown in the bathroom, which is one of the most climactic scenes of just pure rage of Nicolas Cage, and it's
And grief.
everybody that ever wanted to watch this movie just for Nicolas Cage losing his, you know what? That's the scene that you're gonna wait for and expect, because you're gonna see him do it the way that you expect him. And he did it in a way though that was true to the film, which he has not done that in a very long time. Correct. And that moment of silence right before that scene happens.
Right.
He builds that scene and it's silence, 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 and then boom. It's the explosion of red, like a volcano.
I mean, again, looking at it from a psychological, emotional, and a mental point of view, we're looking at grief and loss.
Yeah, 100%.
But grief and loss with this absolute resolution. Again, no spoilers. You won't explain that any further, but you will understand once you've seen the film.
Yes.
That
Yes.
scene is worthy of accolades. I think it's going to be everyone's most moving, most connective, most empathetic moments.
Correct.
What do you think?
100%. This is the year of horror. This is where we've seen horror films not only transcend the regular just B-rate film. We've actually seen that develop 100%, and this is the epitome of the great summer that we've had for horror.
Yeah.
Mandy literally has taken it to the next step, and this year we've been seeing some great horror performances. And everybody that writes off Nicolas Cage as a running meme joke online,
You can't do that after
you can't
this
do this
film.
after this. This is where you see the true epiphany that is Nicolas Cage. And I personally love Nicolas Cage performances. This is in the top 3 for me.
Well, I feel that he poignant silence for a moment. I feel that he embodies the character as if he was living the experience.
Yes.
What would it be if Nicolas Cage was losing Mandy? And not just Mandy, but his
Insanity.
world,
Just
his existence, his safety.
I want to go into
his-
that final
we
scene,
can't.
but
You
I
can't.
can't.
You can't because you give away so much.
Yeah.
You mean
You
when
just
he's
gotta
driving
watch.
in the car at
Yes.
the end? You can't. You just can't.
This has aspects that you want to unfold and you want to delve deeper into. It's like I said before, it's an onion. You pierce through an onion, but you're gonna
Yeah.
see so many different layers in there.
Right.
That's what this film does. It's not one layer, it's not 2 layers, it's multiple layers, and every single one gives you a little bit more towards the final story.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the core of that onion, that's where you see the true story that is this movie. And I will love to go into spoilers on the podcast on another date.
When the time comes. One of the points that I want to make, and as I watched the film, the character I felt that had the most depth, and while it is Nicolas Cage's character, Red, who you,
Yeah.
I mean, even the fact that
Yeah.
name exists there's a reason. Is this actress here?
Yeah. And she did, her eyes
Her eyes.
said it all. Like she didn't have to speak. It's
Oh my
incredible.
God.
It was incredible.
That scene when they're lying on the ground facing each other, and you see the reflection of each other.
Yeah. That
I
you
cannot-
truly saw the next level of this when you saw that.
I think that was the turning moment in the entire film, is when we moved into a different paradigmal shift
Yeah.
in terms of emotional and mental sanity.
Correct. Yes.
And what happens to a person when they're traumatized? What happens to a person's physical existence, the mental state in the moment that they experience a trauma that is so confounding that they now become an alternate personality.
Yeah.
So it's something that you'll understand again as you see it,
Yeah.
and it will make a lot of sense to you. But to be fair, you have not just grief and loss, but the PTSD is immediately built in,
and it starts
the
in that
story.
scene, right in the bathroom scene. That's the catalyst for the rest of the movie. Watch. A lot of people are going to walk out of this movie because they don't understand what is going on, and that is very unfortunate because the experience starts from that bathroom scene. That's where you see the full development of the character, development of the story, and this is where it takes off and then launches to a different hemisphere. And a lot of people will walk out before that scene. But also another disclaimer I want to put out there: this is not all horror. This has its comedic aspects. It has its moments that it breaks that tension. It breaks away that like horrific scenes that we're seeing, because that's the only way we can
I even think
appreciate
there
it.
are moments where they break the fifth wall, but they do it in such a refreshing way that as a non-horror genre person, I'm actually able to stay engaged and actively interested in understanding what the next moment is going to bring to me. So, also every character is not wasted. Every single one, the sirens. I just cannot. These actors, the entirety
And actresses.
of these actors. Well, actors is a term for both, because we don't always. Yeah, it's across the gender spectrum. They. Jeez. I mean, they almost say nothing.
Yeah. There's scenes, there's an actress in particular, one actress, that I think she has maybe 2 or 3 lines of dialogue, but her emotion on her face says everything. And she's one of the most poignant characters because she does something that most of the other characters don't see. And I think that is super impactful. And that character, as minute of a character it is, it's developed and it has a characteristic, and it does so much.
A huge character. I think again, nobody's a filler.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone
I
has
agree
a
with you
purpose.
100% on that.
Everyone has a purpose and a meaning, and everyone has a connection point to the viewing audience. So with Gecko Lewis being the horror genre expert and me not being it, and having both of us agree so wholeheartedly on the social and the emotional impact of the film.
And the quality, the caliber of this film, honestly.
I will say we cannot even discuss the social impact because that would be spoilers.
Yeah.
But later on we will have to, because the generation and the setting was extremely indelible to the cultural shift in our country. Yes. And knowing that, having watched it, we understand.
Yeah. 100%.
What it's referencing, and you will too once you've seen it. I do recommend that a non-horror genre person certainly do the best that you can to attend the movie. Give it a watch, even though it doesn't look like something you watch, because I feel that there's some social and emotional relevance to you as a person. And if you don't, I mean, just give it a try. There's no harm in it. And of course, if you don't want to put it out to see it in the films, of course it's going to come out in DVD one day, and there's always an option there.
But before you go there,
like we said,
this is a major theater experience. This is something that you will enjoy. The sound quality in particular. Yeah. The sound quality in this film is riveting, and it literally shakes you to your bone.
Yeah.
And if you don't enjoy that in a movie theater that's playing it the correct way, the visuals, yes, you want to watch it in the theater, but you can't kind of appreciate that in a home setting. But the sound,
honestly,
unless you have an extraordinary sound system, you will not pick up the little nuances that this film does with the sound. And the score is, bar none, one of my favorite scores in the last 3 or 4 years. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it really is.
So honestly,
eerie.
yeah. From the moment you start, it's extremely eerie. Honestly, I give this probably a 9.5 out of 10 for me.
We are very lucky that we're getting the opportunity to score on Rotten Tomatoes, having gotten to do the pre-screening, and I'm not sure how it's explore yet. My brain really has to bring myself through it. I would probably stay in the 8.7 to 9 spectrum myself.
Yeah.
I tend to score a little harder. I'm so sorry, guys. But you know,
I'm extremely critical about rating my movies, and
he is like so hard on everything. So yeah.
This is right up my alley. Not only is it right up my alley, it's an enjoyable film, and I see the value in other people enjoying this film because this is something that it's not just a horror movie. It's not just violent to be violent.
It's a psychological thriller at the
Correct.
same time. So you know we're straddling that.
Correct.
Too, so.
And to the extent of even Silence of the Lambs, which has that poignant psychological aspect to it, and you see that in this. It's done in a very horrific manner that is typical to psychedelic horror films, but it goes into the psychological aspect, which is very different because they don't usually go into that in the psychedelic horror films. So it's on its own. It's something out of the ordinary. It's something completely unique, and this is going to set the bar, honestly, for horror films.
I actually think so. It's going to set the bar very much so in terms of what Spectrovision brought to us.
Yes.
And what Legion M is supporting. As a Legion M member, I can completely understand their choice to support this film and to be part of the production.
Yeah.
And then and Elijah Wood's decision to actually support us as well. He spoke to us about Mandy at the panel at MegaCon Orlando this year.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that he was referencing this and why. So I do have some sound bites as to why he chose to support this as a producer, and now I can understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
So
This is not just a horror film.
yeah, no, not at all. And I'm playing it back in my head as I'm talking to you.
So if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. It's released today, Thursday, but you're able to watch it all any theater out there right now, and it's definitely something that you want to go out and watch because it is phenomenal.
Yeah, no, I am actually going to see it again because we've been already requested to host the second meetup for Legion M Official by the fans who attended our first one tonight.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? What does that tell you? So that'll be going up pretty soon on the Diversity Geek events page. Guys, anyone who would like to join us for the second meetup, please absolutely get on the page. And know that you'll also be part of our feedback that goes to Legion M Official and to the production, the cast and crew.
Yep.
And we welcome you being part of our journey with Legion M. And welcome to the movie experience, I guess, huh?
Yep. Honestly, I just came back from vacation and we just drove 5 hours and we came straight to the premiere. And I don't regret it for a moment. I literally sat in the car for 5-6 hours, and now I was sitting for another 2 hours. I was very skeptical about coming, and I am so glad Neisha pushed me to come and you gotta come here, you gotta come. She was that mom that dragged me to the show, and I'm so appreciative of it.
Yeah, because this is something that's really, I think, going to be very beneficial for you in terms of Man Bites media, Man Bites film, as we move forward, because you and I are trying to have a more socially relevant, culturally relevant, and diverse conversation that we're sharing with the world, a different view on film and cinematography and sound, as we've said many times, and visual perspectives from an empathetic, compassionate, even from the emotional spectrums, and getting people to understand how to connect and embrace why they connect to something. And this, for me, is my stepping out of my box.
Yeah, big time for her.
Yes, very much so. Bad Samaritan was our first, and then this is my second. And saying, hey, I need to be able to see the world from someone else's eyes and really be able to glean what I can from what they're sharing with me. So, this is your opportunity to do the same. We highly recommend, with every thumb we have, every finger, to see the film as soon as you can, while it's in limited screenings, I believe, and join one of our meetups. And
Yeah.
last words there?
Just check us out on Man Bites Media, Man Bites Film. You can just hashtag it anywhere and you'll be able to find us. We're both on YouTube and any podcast, wherever you get any form of podcast, you'll be able to find us on there.
Right. And check us out, Diversity Geek. Our YouTube show is Diversity Geek Discusses. And we also have our Diversity Geek Discusses podcast that we'll be sharing with Man Bites Media as we host those discussions we just talked about, and we bring you this type of perspective on what the diverse geek world has to offer you guys. So as always, from Diversity Geek, we love
And
you.
Man Bites Media.
And have a great